First of all, I just want to let everybody know that I am floored by the Mayor of Mariposa's news. And we will get to work quickly on finding a replacement. Of course, not through a democratic process, but by appointment only.
I thought you had to lose the election.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, it's in my pocket. It was there the whole time. That's my wallet. We're good now. It's a small pocket.
Oh, excruciating.
That was in lieu of a drum roll. All right. So, I am pleased to announce the winner of the Leacock Medal for Humor is Jennifer Craig for Gone to Pot. Now, those who know, Jennifer unfortunately cannot be here with us tonight. However, we have her daughter here. So, Juliet, would you mind coming up and saying something?
Oh my gosh, I could cry. I'm not kidding that literally at that moment the nurse came in and she's been experienced a lot of nausea and injected her IV with Gravol, which her side effect is to promptly go to sleep. So I had this little window of about, I'm not kidding, 4 minutes to try and get her speech out of her. So this is what she was going to say, I think. First of all, she would like to have her own award called the Hallmark Award for Idiotic Phrases for whoever invented the golden years. She's 84 and not a fan of that term. And she said the only bonus in our little mountain town in British Columbia of being in her golden years is that she gets a free pass to this double black diamond ski hill and half price on skydiving. When she wrote her manuscript and sent it to Second Story Press, and they were interested in seeing the whole manuscript, she was so excited, she sent it off, and she hadn't heard back for about a month or two, and she wrote in and said, you know, I'm kind of waiting, are you interested? She said that they're very thorough and they want everyone at Second Story Press to read the manuscript and make a decision. So she wrote a simple email back and said, do you publish posthumously? So they thought she had been diagnosed with a terminal illness, and she said, I'm 84, that is a terminal illness. Or 81, or whatever she was at the time. And then she proceeded to say that she was going to say something about having a daughter who rolls her eyes at you all the time and says, oh, Mom. So she was slurring her speech, and I'm not sure he was completely with it at that point, so I've rewritten that part, which is that she has this amazing, bright, intelligent, beautiful, incredible daughter and son, and she wouldn't be where she is today without them. So also she brought with her this cassette tape. I should have asked if any young people know what this even is, but... And the way she developed the story was first to develop the character of Jess, who's based on my great Auntie Vaughn, my mom's Aunt Vaughn. And when I was a child, and my mom's originally from Britain, we would communicate with the family by sitting and speaking into a cassette tape and mailing them back and forth. That was a lot of fun at 11, I can tell you. So her friend, my mom's friend, collected all of these tapes and gave them to my mom about 5 years ago. And my mom started listening to them, and my great Auntie Vaughn had died, but she was quite a character, as my mom is. I wish she could be here so you'd see that. But so was my Auntie Vaughn. And So she heard this voice and this character and this spark and this amazing woman in this tape and said, I need to write a story about this woman, and what would she do if she lived in a little mountain town which may or may not be known for some horticultural activities. And that's how she developed the concept of the novel. And then she was going to end her speech saying that, this is for her and Aunt Yvonne, who must be here, and if she, believes in reincarnation, she doesn't want to come back as a king penguin because they live on ice, they have to hold their eggs or chicks on their feet for 9 months, or get a chick sitter if they want to go and eat, may get eaten by a seal, and only have sex once a year. And that's where she was going to walk off stage, I think. But in all seriousness, and this is where I might cry, she's so thrilled and proud of this award, and I can't think of anything she's more proud of. And she would hate for me to say this, but she's a really incredible woman. She survived the First World War in Britain and traumatic illness as a child in hospital for many years. She grew up in a time where you could be a nurse, a secretary, or a teacher, so she was a nurse. She moved to England and moved to Canada. And when we were little, so in her 40s, she decided to go back to university, which was unheard of at the time. And she was in the paper, and they didn't even have the term mature student. And she went back to school and was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And the professor says, do you know how to cook? And she said, yes. Well, this lab is like a kitchen, so just make your recipes. And ended up getting her bachelor's, her master's, her PhD. Did consulting work for many years, got tired of that, so she became a homeopath, and then did a practicum in India to learn that better, and then needed a hip replacement and couldn't heal others, so that's when she started writing in her 70s. So I really admire her, and I know that of all those things in her life, I think she would say this is what she's most proud of. She values humor so much, she values the Leacock Award so much, and she is going to be thrilled to bits, and hopefully doesn't make her drop dead. Going to have to ease it to her slowly. So if you'll just raise a glass to Jenny tonight, she's in the early hospital. Thank you.